Chairman yields back. I now recognize a gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Carter, for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Ranking Member. Thank you to our witness for joining us today. Cybersecurity protection means securing our networks overall for better security and resilience. Despite our annual investment of over $60 billion in cybersecurity, we continue to face significant shortages of trained personnel. This reality underscores a critical point. None of our protective measures, be they standards, technologies, or regulations, can succeed without a well-trained workforce. Addressing ongoing and emerging cyber challenges is critical to our nation's security. Today's discussion is important, and thank you for being here. One contributing factor to the widespread impact of the incident that brings us here was the inability of customers to control when they received this kind of update. If customers had the ability to schedule the receipt of updates, is it possible that fewer devices would have, that fewer devices would have been in fact impacted? I'm pleased that CrowdStrike has addressed this issue and giving customers greater control over when they receive content updates. Can you elaborate on what kind of options customers now have with regards to receiving these updates? And how are you ensuring that customers understand the ability to control content update?
Thank you for your question, Congressman. Moving forward, and what we've implemented is a system of concentric rings, think of it. The initial internal release process will be the first step in releasing new content updates. From there, customers can select to be part of the early adopter program, where they can choose to receive content updates as quickly as we can make them available. From there, there's another factor that they can select, which would be general availability, which would come after early adopter. And then from there, they can select to wait some period of time before those updates get pushed out, or choose not to receive them as well.
Is there a preferred process, which, if any, is safer, more efficient, would grant the greatest amount of protection to the consumer?
Thank you, Congressman. I think the early adopter is appropriate for systems for testing purposes. In other words, if an organization would like to receive those content updates in a timely manner and make sure that there's no outcome or unexpected behavior, and then from there, the general availability. For mission-critical systems or things that they would prefer to wait even longer for, they can choose to do that. But that comes, of course, with the risk that they're not getting the most up-to-date threat intelligence information provided to their system. So.
And is there a capacity to overrule those options and to automatically push forward an update because of the sensitivity of the risk?
From the CrowdStrike side?
Yeah.
No, sir.
Okay. Given the revelations that we've had, is there a mechanism for there to be a greater amount of cooperation between CrowdStrike, Microsoft, and the other good actors, as opposed to the bad actors who seem to have a leg up in being nefarious? Are there mechanisms that you guys have in place that you're coordinating and working more closely in sync to prevent these type of issues in the future?
That's a great question, Congressman. Yes, we've, in fact, on the weekend of July 19th, we began working very closely with Microsoft in order to ensure that our mutual customers had the benefit of us working together. And then subsequent to that, just last week, there was a meeting in Microsoft that was, I think, already mentioned, where CrowdStrike and others participated in a sit-down with Microsoft to plan for future improvements and to ensure continued resiliency by CrowdStrike and Microsoft and other companies as well.
And lastly, before my time runs out, is there a mechanism for the community to be made more aware in a kind of a layman's sense of what can citizens do to better protect themselves and to be aware. We know there's all sorts of phishing scams, there's all kind of stuff out there. What can the general consumer, and what might we be doing as this committee to help educate the general public?
Thank you. Awareness is a key factor, as you point out. And during this incident, we were able to push out threat intelligence on our blogs in order to advise general consumers of threat actors that were trying to take advantage of these situations. In general, I think better awareness of these threats is absolutely critical and something that I would be happy to continue to work with you and your staff on to come up with strategies to help educate the public about some of these threats.
Thank you. My time's expired. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back.